Well, there's good news to report. Just in the course of the last approximately 2.5 minutes, we are hearing that these charges of sedition have been dropped. The question is, why on earth were these charges of sedition, why were they placed at all? What is sedition? Whoever attempts to bring hatred or contempt towards an established government shall be punished with jail from 3 years to life. That's what sedition is all about. Well, joining us now, Dr. Mansoor Ahmed, the Vice-Chancellor of the Swami Vivekananda Subharati University in Meerut. This is the university from where these 67 students were suspended and then sent home. Tanveer Sadiq, spokesperson of the National Conference, joins us. And those two images, those two figures in that silhouette are two of these students, too scared to appear in proper light. That's what they say. They are worried because if they say anything, if they're seen saying anything, they're going to get into serious trouble. They're worried about their futures. Dr. Mansoor Ahmed, let me come to you first. Do you believe that these students should have been charged with sedition?
We didn't lodge any FIR against the students. I only contacted the police for one simple thing, and that was to give me escorts for sending them, a posse force for sending them to Delhi or Ghaziabad. See, it is my duty, the trust that the guardians have reposed in me, it is my duty to keep these boys and girls out of harm's way. So I thought, and rightfully so, the later events justified it, that there was tension in the city and there were reactions in the students also, other students also. So I thought I should send them out for some time. So I suspended the students till further orders, so that it may not be a long time. It could be 1 day, 2 days, 2 hours, 3 hours.
You suspended 67 students for cheering for Pakistan in a cricket match.
No, not only for that. There are 3 things. Number 1, they misbehaved in the hostel. See, hostel is certain decorum. You have to dress well. They took out their shirts and they started demonstrating.
What else
Number
did they
2,
do? What else did they do, sir?
They damaged furniture also.
What else did they do, sir?
And they shouted slogans, and that disturbed people around. So
what slogans did they shout, sir?
Just please. Suspension is not justification.
Did they shout slogans in favor of the Pakistani cricket team?
Even if they had shouted slogans in favor of any team at that time, disturbing others, I would have placed them under suspension, because
you would have placed them under suspension. Sir, I understand breaking furniture, I understand decorum, but you would have placed them for suspension for cheering the Pakistan cricket team.
That also, yes, that also.
Why?
Because
why, sir? Why, sir?
Because I tell you, because that created a volatile situation in the campus.
Sir, the last I heard, this is a democracy, sir.
Meerut is a very sensitive place.
Sir, the last I heard, this is a democracy. You can choose for anybody you want. You can support, or you can anybody that you want. You can cheer for anybody you want.
That is right, but you must see the ground realities also. Meerut has witnessed communal riots.
Sir, if I was to write a book on Pakistan tomorrow, sir, could I be charged for sedition, sir? Because, you know, it's Pakistan and so they are our enemies.
No, I don't hold brief for Meerut police. See, we did not lodge any FIR. And
so you did not lodge any FIR, but you are saying that these students should have been suspended because they cheered for Pakistan.
No, suspension is our own internal thing. Nothing to do with police.
No, sir, I understand
and that.
I understand that, sir.
Listen to me, please.
Yes.
That was for till further orders. That were 2 hours, 2 days, and to keep them out of harm's way.
Okay.
I sent them out.
All right.
Do you know what happened in the city? Let us. Do you know what happened?
Let me go to these students, sir, who you have scared so much that they are not willing to show their faces. Let me get a reaction from them. The good news, I don't know your names because you haven't told me as yet, but the good news is that these sedition charges, the sedition charges, not you, sir, these students. I'm talking to 2 students whose faces are mosaic because you have scared them, sir. So let me ask these students, in the last half an hour or so, sedition charges have been dropped. Will you now come back to Meerut Will one of you please answer that question?
सर नो सर, हम मेरठ नहीं जाना चाहते, क्योंकि जब हमारे साथ यूनिवर्सिटी वालों ने ऐसा कुछ किया, जब हम वापस जाएंगे तो उनका रिएक्शन क्या होगा, उधर के स्टूडेंट्स का रिएक्शन क्या होगा हमारे खिलाफ।
ये तो सीधी बात है, चार्जेस जो है पुलिस ने सेडिशन चार्जेस ड्रॉप की है, ये चार्जेस नहीं है, आप वापस क्यों नहीं जाना चाहते हैं?
देखिए सर, आप सेडिशन चार्जेस की बात कर रहे हैं, हम उन स्टूडेंट्स को भी ब्लेम नहीं कर रहे जिन्होंने हम पे जानलेवा हमला किया। इस वक्त हम बात करेंगे अपनी मैनेजमेंट की, अपनी वीसी की, जिन्होंने हमें सड़क पे छोड़ा, रात को 12 बजे हमें दिल्ली रेलवे स्टेशन पे छोड़ा, बिना पैसे वहाँ पर खड़े थे, वहाँ पर रात भर हम रेलवे स्टेशन पे सोए थे, 70 स्टूडेंट्स रो रहे थे, हमारे जूनियर स्टूडेंट्स को हम पहला बुसला कर सुला रहे थे, वहाँ पर सड़क पर बैठे थे कि हम घर पहुँचेंगे, आराम से पहुँचेंगे, टेंशन मत लो। हमारे पास कुछ भी पैसा नहीं था, हमने रेल का सफ़र किया है विदाउट टिकट्स। अगर हमें कुछ भी हो जाता, हमारी लाइफ का जिम्मेदार कौन था, हमारे उन स्टूडेंट्स का जिम्मेदार कौन था? अगर हमारे स्टूडेंट्स का कोई हम बच्चों का कुछ भी हो जाता, क्या यूनिवर्सिटी ने, क्या मैनेजमेंट ने ऐसी जानने की कोशिश की कि हमारे स्टूडेंट्स क्या घरों को पहुँचे? क्या हमने अपने स्टूडेंट्स को सही जगह पे छोड़ा? क्या वो सही जगह से घर जा सकते हैं?
डॉक्टर अहमद, आंसर दैट क्वेश्चन।
ऐसी कोई
डॉक्टर अहमद, यू ड्रॉप द स्टूडेंट्स टू द रेलवे स्टेशन प्लीज। हाँ, एक मिनट, डॉक्टर अहमद को जवाब देने दीजिए। डॉक्टर अहमद, गो अहेड।
ऐसा है,
यस सर, यस सर।
दे वर टोल्ड in the morning that they have to vacate the hostel and they should have been ready.
Not sir, morning में नहीं हुआ है, खाली
they started journey
के बाद नोटिस आई है, 10 मिनट का मौका दिया है।
मुझे सुन लीजिए।
हाँ, बताइए। Go ahead, sir.
मैंने सवेरे in the morning I told them, my warden told them that they have to pack up and they showed defiance. They won't pack up. At 4 o'clock they packed up and they went to the they were taken in a bus to Ghaziabad and Meerut. See, in Ghaziabad I arranged for their breakfast, the refreshment, bananas, samosas, water bottles.
No refreshment.
That was all. I tell you.
But if you are suspended, surely you don't want refreshments from your university also. That is also there.
No. I sent 2 senior officers of the hostel of the university with them.
Okay, sir, I am interrupting you. Dr. Ahmed, you make that point and I take the point that you are making, that you have actually tried to help these students. They disagree. Be that as it may, Tanveer Sadiq, running out of time, I am sorry I have come to you late, but these sedition charges have been dropped. Omar Abdullah appealed to the UP Chief Minister, who about an hour ago or so said that these charges were too strict and they have now been dropped. What can the state government do to convince these students to go back to Meerut? Tanveer Sadiq Saab, please go ahead.
Just listen to me.
Vishnu, it's a very good step. We just heard that the Home Department of UP has dropped the charges. That's a very good sign. You know, as soon as we heard about it, the Chief Minister spoke to the counterpart in UP, and Akhilesh Yadav had assured that he will look into it personally. So that's a good sign. But leaving the discipline part of it, I think the VC, whether he gives them bananas or mangoes, that's a different step. Why did he in the first instance suspend them if he wanted to give them bananas? My point is that's a different story. Disciplinary action is a different story. But here, please agree to the fact that, you know, these students are in the age group of 25 to 30. You need to console them. You need to embrace them. They have lived in a society where there has been a lot of militancy and bloodshed. So you need to come and embrace them instead of alienating them. Sedition charges are very bad. I mean, this will definitely send a very wrong signal. This is not the first time it has happened in UP or maybe in other parts of the state.
Okay, all right.
So the first of all, cheering for a different team is a different thing. But why put sedition charges?
Dr. Ahmed, I'm coming to you
I was
next.
just listening. It's
1 minute, Doctor.
It's like
Tanveer,
the charges that.
Tanveer, you make your point very effectively.
That, you know, if you
but Dr. Ahmed, let me ask you this, and I think that summarizes what Tanveer Sadiq is trying to say. I'm interrupting because I'm out of time. Dr. Ahmed, will you please welcome these students back?
Yes, of course. Why not?
So is it for
why not?
Can you assure these students that they will not be targeted by other students?
These sedition charges were nowhere in mind. These sedition charges were nowhere in mind. and we don't believe that it is a fit case for sedition or treason.
You are welcoming these students back, sir?
Yes, of course. Of course.
You will ensure that they are not targeted by anybody else, sir?
They will not be targeted, and we have a large number of other Kashmiri boys and girls in the
Vishnu,
university.
is he revoking the suspension as well? Because that's important.
Are you revoking the suspension, sir?
See, I will tell you about this. There are 3-level committees. I have appointed a committee of inquiry headed by a Kashmiri professor, Professor Jilani. Let his report come. That will come in 2-3 days. I will take out a decision.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, sir. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. And to these students, you heard what your Vice-Chancellor had to say. He says if these charges against you through this inquiry committee are dropped, he welcomes you back, and he says you will not be targeted. Is that good enough for you?
सर ये पहली बार नहीं हुआ है हमारे साथ, ये दूसरा तीसरा अटैक है हमारे ऊपर। इससे पहले भी हमारे एक स्टूडेंट्स को मारा गया, 8 स्टिच आई उसके सर में, लेकिन यूनिवर्सिटी ने कोई एक्शन नहीं लिया उनके खिलाफ। उस वक्त भी यूनिवर्सिटी ने हमें बोला आप बाहर हो, आप कंप्रोमाइज करो, हम आपको सिक्योरिटी देंगे। उस वक्त भी हमें यही भरोसा दिया गया, लेकिन अब देखिए हमारे साथ क्या हुआ। जो यूनिवर्सिटी हमें इस तरह सड़क पे छोड़ सकती है, पुलिस के साथ हमें पुलिस लाठीचार्ज करने पे आई, यूनिवर्सिटी ने बोला तो बाहर निकाला गया हमें यूनिवर्सिटी। क्या तो आप वापस नहीं जाएंगे? आप रह सकते हैं?
आप ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि आप वापस नहीं जाएंगे?
उस यूनिवर्सिटी में
वाइस चांसलर साहब ने जो भी कहा आप ये मानने को तैयार नहीं है, आप वापस नहीं जाएंगे?
नहीं, अगर उनको ये बात करनी थी तो हमें वहां पर क्यों नहीं बोला गया? हम अगर हमारी गलती होती तो हम माफी मांगते हैं आपको कि
एक इंक्वायरी कमेटी है, ये इंक्वायरी रिपोर्ट का रिजल्ट नतीजा आने के बाद अगर आप क्लियर होते उस रिपोर्ट पे आप वापस जा सकते हैं। आप जाएंगे अगर आपका नाम क्लियर होता है? नहीं
सर ये बात तब सोचनी चाहिए जब उन्होंने हमें बाहर निकाला, एक्शन हुआ। ये इंक्वायरी तो पहले होनी चाहिए थी।
All right, okay, so we are getting drawn into this incident, but very fortunately the larger issue of sedition has been dropped. What can be done to actually get these students the education they need, and hopefully there will be no violence, and hopefully the larger issue of who we cheer for doesn't have to become an issue on national television. I'd like to thank all of you very much for joining us. You've been watching The Buck Stops Here. Time now for us to take this short break.